This video is brought to you by Squarespace. Need a website and don't know how to make one? Easy. Make it with Squarespace. So Kasey, is that chocolate in your mouth? That is not professional. Are you kidding me? Girl. Hey guys, it's me. I'm back with Greg. And in today's video, we're going to be designing earrings, but earrings for animal ears. Our ears are so small, we can only do so much, and people are just poking holes in their bodies and putting piercings everywhere, so let's see what the animal kingdom has to offer. Okay, but what about me? Give me ear piercings. You don't have ears. Okay, let's get into it. Starting with our first animal is the elephant, and this was the first animal that came to mind when I thought about designing different piercings for different animals, because elephants have, I assume, the biggest nose in the animal kingdom and the biggest ears? I could be wrong. I'm also going into this thinking that these animals are now part human. As you can see, this is an anthropomorphic animal-human creature. So let's pretend this is a world where these animal creatures are living like humans. She lives in a society. She's not going to use her nose to drink water. She's going to use her mouth like a civilized elephant. Even though people do pierce their tongues and their lips, I was thinking about how her trunk would be very annoying to drink water with if there was this huge nose ring in it. So at first I was thinking, do I want to treat these guys a little bit realistically? But I wanted to give that big elephant trunk nose a nose ring. As you know, I have a septum ring myself. People love comparing them to animals anyway, so give that animal a septum ring. Now here's the thing, these piercings don't have names because would you call those trunk piercings all the way up? In human terms, the one next to her eye there would be a bridge, I think, that goes between your eyes and on your nose. The bridge of your nose, basically, I guess. But I have 4 bridges going up the trunk of her nose, so I would assume maybe they just call those trunk bridges. I have no idea. I'm rambling. Obviously, the star of the show here, get it, star, is the star-shaped, ribbon-tied hole piercings in her ear. Because she has this huge canvas, I thought it'd be really cute to put holes in her ears and then tie them together with a string and create a pattern. How cute. It's not just dependent on the holes in the ears, but also connecting them with a string or a chain. I imagine people doing different patterns, maybe even doing words. And then I just threw some hoops on her ears just for decoration. She looks really cool. She's badass. I think this one turned out really fun. Our next animal is the rabbit. Obviously another very large-eared creature with a lot to work with. But the question is, how realistically do I want to go here? Obviously we are working with humanoid animals, so we are not going super realistic, but I don't just want a giant floating bar that's just unaffected by gravity, you know what I mean? So I did play around with some bars connecting the ears together, kind of like a ladder, but I just couldn't stop thinking about their ears moving in the direction of sound and just tugging away at those holes. So I started to think about a floppy-eared bunny and how those ears probably aren't really moving, they're just kind of hanging there. Let's hang a chain between them. It's kind of like a necklace, but instead of going around your neck, it's just on your ears. And then I also started to think about how this huge canvas is similar to the elephant, but I wanted to try a different idea. So if you have noticed, this rabbit is green. I started to think about different alternative fashions for animals compared to humans, and they have the ability to dye their fur over and over all throughout their body. Maybe not tattoos unless you shave constantly. So I started to imagine, you know, even in our real world, there are people out there that have made changing their bodies to look like something like an alien, a devil, Barbie. So in this world, this bunny has dyed their fur green to look like Frankenstein, and half of their ear is a different green, so it looks like they were stitched together. And then to really tie it together, I put little ovular? No. The piercings between the colors are supposed to look like staples or some sort of something to keep their sewn ear together with their piercings. And one's unaligned because, well, if you have piercings, you know those things be swiveling. And then I just threw some extra piercings on them because the ears are just huge. It feels wrong only putting a couple of piercings on them. I think she's cute. She's got a very interesting vibe. Hey guys, I'm back with Kasey. She wanted to tell you about the sponsor of this video, Squarespace, so be kind to her. She's trying her best. And take it away, Kasey.
I'm
want to use my professional voice to thank the sponsor of this video, Squarespace. Thank you, Squarespace. With Squarespace's collection of cutting-edge design tools, anyone can build a bespoke online presence that perfectly fits their brand or business. No experience required. You can have a fully custom website in just a few steps. And whether you're offering services, selling products, or do both, Squarespace gives you everything you need to grow your business with an online store. And then with Squarespace payments, you can get paid. It's the easiest way to manage your payments in one place with Squarespace. With popular payment methods like Klarna, ACH Direct Debit, Apple Pay, Afterpay, and ClearPay. Go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/KaseyGolden to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thank you so much to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Woo! Okay, let's get back to the video. For our next animal, the pig, I wanted to start playing around with things that weren't just ears, but connected with a piercing. I guess the only example I have is something that could still technically be a piercing, but in the human world, we have these things called ear cuffs, which are basically little pieces that go on the edge of your ear, but they're not pierced, they're just kind of hanging out. Sometimes they dangle, sometimes they're really snug. There are piercings that are connected to the ear, to the nose on humans, but with a warthoggy pig person thing, their nose and ear are very far apart, and on top of that there is a midway point, the tusk. So I thought it would be really cute to give this pig a septum piercing, an ear piercing, and in between those chains it connects at the tusk, and it's just a simple ring that, maybe it can be tightened, I guess, depending on the price of this jewelry. Again, I'm not super concerned with the rules of how this would work, but I was thinking about the ears, and I did choose floppy ears. Again, ears that aren't going to be moving too much. So the hanging of these chains between these 3 points is, I feel like, pretty safe. I think this is a very cute look, very adorable. There's a lot going on. I also love the asymmetrical look. I was thinking about putting a chain behind our character so that you could just see it goes to both ears, but honestly it just felt very crowded. Because the whole point of these drawings is that I am designing different piercing styles for different animals, I wanted to draw them in a profile, because when you get the side view, it's very easy to see a lot of the face from a profile. And I also wanted to keep the style of all these characters a little bit on the simple side, because again, I wanted to focus on the piercings. All of our characters have minimal shading, simple colors, black flat hair, no highlights, keeping it simple. I love her, and I definitely, she's my favorite in the whole video. Next up, we have the goat. Again, playing off of the whole tusk situation, I wanted to interact with more protruding things that humans don't have. This time it's horns. This character was so perfect. I feel like goats are so stereotyped. It was so easy to create this very laid back looking stoner character with a goat. It has a goatee, its eyes are goofy, its ears are floppy. Goats are snacking on everything. They're just munching, they're eating, they're screaming. Anyway, I don't feel like this is my most creative design in the video. However, I do like the idea of it. I also just like the idea of this character. Again, he looks very much like a stoner character. He's only got a very few piercings, one lip just for fun because I haven't done one yet. The main piercing focus is the chain that is going all around the horns of this character. Again, I just wanted something to interact from the ear to the horns, so I just simply got a gold chain and wrapped it all around. I'm sure there could be a more elegant way to do this. Maybe gold chain with little leaves or flowers on it, make it more elegant. Maybe tie ribbons in your horns. I imagine this character, because he's such a stoner, doesn't care what's happening character. Maybe his girlfriend runs a jewelry store and she's just using him as a model to take photos for her website. So this guy's just sitting there with this super expensive jewelry on that he doesn't care about, not his style, but you know what? He's helping his girlfriend. And there he is, my least favorite guy. For our fifth and final animal design, we are going to be playing around with a mouse's ears. And this one, I just wanted to play around with the fact that the ears on this character, even though they are not realistically ratioed to how, well, actually, that's not even true. I bet there's some crazy big ears. This is that mouse. Hold on, this is not a realistic world. Who cares? Details don't matter. I want to to mess around with giant objects. There's nothing cuter in this world than miniature objects and also very large objects of smaller things. So for this mouse, I wanted to focus on objects that you would find around a mouse's size, but were also things that you could pierce someone's ear with, so sharp things. So I suppose in this world, these are giant replicas of these items to be used as big piercings. I started off with a classic. We have a safety pin in the ear. Who doesn't love a good safety pin styled ear? Next, I moved on to what I was going to make a screw, but as I just put the nail in, I kind of forgot about the spiraling screw part of the screw. And then later I did try to add the spiraling part, but I just didn't like the way it looked, and I thought, who cares? Let's just pretend she has some silicone rubbery things to keep this on. I added a couple of other bigger earrings, a big star, a big hoop, but overall I just wanted to focus on those very large pieces in the ears, and I just put some studs across her ears. Honestly, it's pretty cool having, again, such a big canvas to work on, and then all of these large statement pieces that just kind of fancy up your ear a little bit. It's just, there's so much to work with there. And there it is, our fifth and final design. Hey, Kasey told me that to tell you guys that you're stinky and to thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!